to prevent unwanted pregnancies, why not? Please use contraceptives.
Welcome to another super electrifying episode of the Healthy Happy Human Show. My name is JTDUSTMAN, just man the microphone luminary, and on the show today we're talking contraceptive. In other words, contraception. And to bless us with a wealth of knowledge today is Dr. Blessing. How are you doing, Dr. Blessing?
Fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great. Nice to see you.
Same here.
Pretty smart you got on, by the way.
Thank you.
So by means of introduction, I'd like you to introduce yourself.
Dr. Isiovoja Blessing.
Interesting. How long have you been practicing?
Let's call it 2 years.
And I'm pretty sure you must have had a lot of knowledge, gathered enough about contraception.
Well, we keep learning every day, so...
Interesting, I love that. So what is contraception?
Okay, so contraception is the act of prevention of pregnancy with the use of medications, medical devices, or even behaviors.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you talk about all these means, medication, medical devices, behaviors, what are the options of contraceptions or contraceptives that are available to us?
Okay, so there are different types of contraceptives.
Yes,
They're divided into the hormonal and the non-hormonal ones.
Okay.
So the non-hormonal ones, I'll start from there.
All right.
They are the ones that, yes, to prevent pregnancies, but without interfering with the natural hormones. So there are different types here. There is the barrier method, which is male condoms, female condoms. There's something called the diaphragm that's also used to block sperm from getting into the uterus. Then there is the natural method, lactation amenorrhea. This is when a woman is breastfeeding, she shouldn't be able to get pregnant, but sometimes it happens anyways, but she shouldn't be able to get pregnant. Then there is the coitus interruptus, which is also known as the withdrawal method, and there is also the calendar method.
Coitus, I like to say
coitus interruptus.
Coitus interruptus.
Yes.
Interesting.
Withdrawal method.
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
All right. There's the calendar method. There's this app. Almost all ladies, if you check their phone, you'll see it. It helps them find out when is their safe period, when it's safe for them to have sex and all of it. So yes, the calendar method.
Oh.
Yes. And there is the non-hormonal. Okay. In the non-hormonal, we also have permanent, you can also call it irreversible. That is when, for the male, vasectomy. For the female, tubal ligation, blocking the tubes in order for sperm not to pass through. Okay. Yes. Then there is the best one, abstinence. If you're not married, yes, abstinence.
The safest one.
That's it.
Okay, so what then are the importance or benefits of using contraceptions? Why should people ever even delve into, yes, the cheapest and the safest is abstinence, right? But then, if you have to indulge one way or the other, there must be an importance for indulging in contraceptive.
Okay. Nigeria is hard on its own. So if you have completed your family size, so it's best, okay, if your plan is to give birth to 2 children or 3 children, after it, you can just close your shop and say you're not doing it again. And contraceptives is the best option. So yes. So if you've completed your family size, if you've completed your family size, that's now for married people. Now, to prevent unwanted pregnancies, why not? Please use contraceptives.
Interesting. So why is it important to talk about contraceptives and amongst 2 partners?
Okay.
Why is it important to highlight who should take one for the team?
Okay. So, like you said, partnership.
Yeah.
They're partners. Yeah. So together there should be a communication and to say, okay, we have completed our family size. So now, as a team, let us both decide who's going to close shop, basically. So if you're going to do drugs, we are going to agree together that yes, we're going to take, and obviously if we are taking drugs, it's the lady that is taking the drugs, because it's just one thing for the guy. Okay, apart from the condoms and the
it's just to
withdrawal,
have vasectomy.
The vasectomy is like the permanent for the permanent one solution for the guy. But aside that, it's the lady that takes all the shots. She's the one that takes the injections. She's the one that puts the devices. She's the one that puts everything, comes back to her. So we have to decide that.
So a lot more options are weighed on her.
Yes. than to the
fewer
gender.
options for the male.
Yes.
So one person definitely has to. So I think
So together we have
yeah.
to decide that, okay, this is it. Moving forward, okay, if we're going to do drugs, this is what it's for you, but I'll support you emotionally and all of it. If we're going to do the other one, you can also choose to.
Interesting.
Yes.
So we'll be hearing vasectomy, and vasectomy. Please, I need my brothers to be educated.
Okay. So vasectomy is a surgical procedure whereby the vas deferens, which is a tube that passes semen or sperm from the testis, is cut to attain permanent sterilization. No sperm passing.
By no means possible.
No, at all. So that's the end of it. So that's what it is. It's a safe procedure. Let me get to that part before you ask me.
All right.
It's a safe procedure. Most people, because of that, brings us back to the part where it's the lady that suffers. Let me not use the word suffer. It weighs down on her more, because now the man doesn't want to go under the knife, because yes, it's a surgical procedure. You don't want to go here. You don't want to do this. However, it's safe. It doesn't affect your erection.
It doesn't affect your prostate.
It doesn't. Going forward, your sexual life is still same. There's no difference. Just that you are unable to impregnate a lady. So that's just what it is after vasectomy.
Interesting. So how do we get more men to indulge? Because just like you said, a lot of times the options are tilted towards the feminine gender. So every time we hear about family planning, child birth control and all of that, all the options, a myriad of them, are tilted towards the feminine gender. Now we're getting to know about this very simple, just as you said, procedure that men can undergo, vasectomy.
Yes.
What are the pros and the cons? How do we get men to indulge in this? Don't you think it will encourage men to go out there and fire on all cylinders, knowing that there will be no outcome?
No. Now, that's cheating, though. Let's not go there. So
there we go. There we go.
If I understand this question very well,
Yeah,
it's
I hope you do.
moving forward.
Yeah.
How would men?
How can we get a lot of other men to be encouraged?
Like I said earlier on, it's a safe procedure. Don't say, oh, because of my ego, I wouldn't want to do this. It's safe. You can do it for your partner.
In fact, for yourself.
For yourself.
So you don't go and start having children that you can't cater for.
You know this thing.
All right.
So it's safe. Take away sentiment. Take away ego, and it's a safe procedure. Basically. So.
Yeah, and it doesn't affect your prostate, because nowadays men are a lot concerned about prostate.
It doesn't
burning prostate and all of that stuff.
It doesn't affect it.
Okay.
Yes, because
it's not a risk.
It's not a risk factor.
Okay.
No, your erection is still normal. Your sexual life is intact.
Libido doesn't drop.
It doesn't drop.
Interesting.
So fire on.
So how about
at home?
The cons? Fire on.
But at home.
How about the cons? Don't you think it will encourage men to? After all, there will be no outcome.
Like I said, fire on, but at home.
So you don't have anything to say about. Interesting. All right. Now, is it cheap and readily available? Now I'm talking about all the methods of contraception.
Okay. So
how cheap, affordable can the low class? I'm sorry, but we of course know in society there are people who are in the lowest class.
So there,
and a lot of people. I'm sorry to cut you. A lot of people in the lowest class, they need this information. We should take it to their faces, because that man who is really not financially strong and whose mental health is weighed down with the economical stress of the country, the bite of society owing to his condition, would always relieve himself by pleasuring with his wife, and that will produce a lot of offsprings. So let's imagine that the low class man would want to indulge. He and his wife would want to go for any of these options. What's your advice? Which is readily available and which is very affordable?
I don't think they are free ones. I'm not very sure, so let me not speak on it being free. But I think in health centers, they can go there and find out about it. because at least health centers, governments should provide these things so that the population will not increase and we will not have a means of taking care of them ourselves. Yeah.
Okay.
So of course, so they should go to a health center close to them, especially the ones that are not very financially buoyant. You can go to a healthcare center and ask questions. Questions are free.
So the vasectomy, for instance,
yes,
is it a very expensive procedure?
I don't think it's very expensive, but yes, I forgot to add that it's cheaper than a tubal ligation for a lady, and it's more invasive for a lady because you have to open up the lady to do the ligation. But for the man, it's less invasive. Yes, it's invasive, but
it's just his testes.
That's all.
That's still some kind of opening up.
You can do volunteer.
Interesting show today, right away, ladies and gentlemen. Please do well to comment in the comment section. I'm sure a lot of you have something up in your head. Say it around, die there, and don't forget to like. Don't forget to share, and don't forget to tell somebody about this. Before we go, Dr. Blessing, your last words.
Okay.
I'd like you to make your last words gender specific.
Okay.
Male and female. Tell the women something and tell the males something.
In Nigeria today, everything is expensive. So if you have to have unprotected sex, there's something called the morning after pills. However, do not pop it like it's paracetamol.
Sorry to cut you, but we've been hearing pills. What are these pills? So
now, these are emergency contraceptives used within 72 hours after unprotected sex. Yes.
Yeah.
So, in as much as I'm saying use this, I am not saying pop it every day, because yes, it has its own side effects. It can change your menstrual cycles, and even this as little as paracetamol has side effects. So talk more of this one that goes to change your whole hormones. Please use, but use wisely. Yes.
And for the men,
discuss with your wives. You can help us and do vasectomy.
Thank you very much, guys. Until next time, have fun on the show. Ciao.